Ever wondered why some relationships leave you feeling drained and unfulfilled while others uplift and inspire you? Could it be the difference between a healthy relationship and a toxic one? What if you could spot the signs of toxicity early on and navigate your way to healthier, happier relationships? Would you feel more empowered? We're about to embark on a journey to decode the complexity of toxic relationships. Stay tuned as we delve into the signs of a toxic relationship and how to deal with them. Before we can identify a toxic relationship, we first need to understand what it means. Picture this: a relationship is like a garden. When nurtured with love, respect, and understanding, it blooms, just like a beautiful flower. But what happens when weeds of manipulation, control, and disrespect creep in? Just like those weeds suffocate a garden, these negative elements choke the life out of a relationship. That, my friends, is the essence of a toxic relationship. In a toxic relationship, there's an unhealthy dynamic where one person consistently brings the other down, either emotionally, physically, or both. It's like being on a never-ending roller coaster ride of negativity, with constant ups and downs that leave you feeling drained and disoriented. Picture a puppeteer controlling a puppet. In a toxic relationship, one person becomes the puppeteer, manipulating the other's emotions, actions, and decisions, often under the guise of love or concern. It's a relationship that thrives on power imbalances, leaving one person feeling trapped and powerless. Let's consider an example. Imagine a couple, let's call them Jack and Jill. Jack constantly belittles Jill, making her feel unworthy and incompetent. Despite Jill's efforts to please Jack, he's never satisfied. Jack's behavior is a classic example of a toxic partner. Now that we have a clear definition, we can start to identify the signs of a toxic relationship. So, what are the hallmark signs of a toxic relationship? First off, let's talk about emotional manipulation. This is a tactic often employed by toxic partners, where they use your emotions as a weapon to control you. They might guilt trip you into doing something you are not comfortable with, or they might gaslight you into doubting your own feelings and perceptions. Consider the case of Lisa and Tom. Tom would frequently make Lisa feel guilty for wanting to spend time with her friends, insinuating that she didn't care about him. This not only isolated Lisa, but also made her question her own desires and priorities. Next, we have constant criticism. While constructive criticism is a vital part of any relationship, in a toxic one, the criticism is often relentless, harsh, and aimed to belittle rather than build. It's a tool used to chip away at your self-esteem, making you feel inadequate and dependent on the toxic partner. For instance, if your partner constantly puts down your ambitions or mocks your interests, that's a clear red flag. A lack of respect is another glaring sign of a toxic relationship. Respect in a relationship is about valuing the other person's boundaries, feelings, and individuality. However, in a toxic relationship, one partner might consistently disrespect the other. They might invade their privacy, belittle their feelings, or disregard their opinions. Let's take the example of Sarah and Mike. Mike would often make decisions that affected both of them without consulting Sarah, showing a clear lack of respect for her as an equal partner. We also can't forget about the imbalance of power. In a healthy relationship, both partners have an equal say and share an equal level of control. But in a toxic relationship, one partner often wields more power than the other, making decisions on behalf of both and subverting the other's autonomy. If you find yourself constantly bending to your partner's will, that's a sign you're in a toxic relationship. Lastly, there's the absence of support. In a healthy relationship, your partner should be your cheerleader, rooting for you and supporting you in your endeavors. But in a toxic relationship, your partner might downplay your accomplishments, or even become hostile or envious when you succeed. Remember, a good partner will celebrate your victories, not diminish them. These signs aren't exhaustive, and it's important to remember that toxicity can manifest in different ways. But if you find yourself nodding along to these signs, it might be time to evaluate your relationship. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards dealing with a toxic relationship. It's not always easy, but it's absolutely necessary for your well-being. Remember, you deserve a relationship that brings you joy, not one that drains you. So stay tuned as we delve into the impact of toxic relationships and how to deal with them. But what impact do these toxic relationships have on our lives? This question might seem simple, but its answer is quite complex. Toxic relationships aren't just emotionally draining, they can have serious, tangible effects on both our mental and physical health. Let's start with the mental impact. When we're constantly subjected to negativity, manipulation, and emotional abuse, it can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. You might find your thoughts consumed by the relationship unable to focus on anything else. And this constant state of worry and fear can trigger depression, affecting your ability to enjoy life and carry out daily activities. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry reveals that people in toxic relationships often experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, you heard it right. PTSD, a condition often associated with war veterans and survivors of horrific accidents. This is because the emotional trauma inflicted in a toxic relationship can be just as damaging as physical trauma. But it's not just your mental health that suffers. Your physical health can take a hit too. The stress and anxiety from a toxic relationship can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, stomach issues, and even heart problems. It can disrupt your sleep, leading to fatigue and a weakened immune system. Plus, it can push you towards unhealthy coping mechanisms like overeating, smoking, or excessive drinking, which can lead to a whole host of other health problems. And let's not forget about the social impact. Toxic relationships can isolate you from your friends and family, leaving you feeling alone and unsupported. They can also affect your performance at work or school, as it's hard to focus when you're constantly on edge. You see, the effects of a toxic relationship are like ripples on a pond. They start at the source but spread outward, affecting every aspect of your life. These impacts are real, they're serious, and they're far-reaching. Clearly, the effects of toxic relationships can be far-reaching, but how can we deal with them? That's what we'll explore in the next scene. So stay tuned, because understanding is the first step towards healing. Facing the reality of a toxic relationship can be tough, but there are ways to handle it effectively. Let's delve into some practical advice. Firstly, setting boundaries is crucial. This is not about building walls or shutting people out. Instead, it's about defining what you will and won't tolerate. Clear boundaries can help protect your emotional well-being. Remember, it's okay to say no. It's okay to prioritize your needs. You don't have to accept everything just to keep the peace. Secondly, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists, counselors, and support groups can provide invaluable guidance and perspective. They can help you navigate the complexities of your situation, providing tools and strategies to cope. It's like having a GPS for your emotional journey. You're not alone on this road. Now let's talk about self-care. This isn't about bubble baths and candles, although those can be nice. Rather, self-care is about nurturing your mental, physical, and emotional health. It's about making time for things that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. It's about listening to your body and mind and giving them what they need. You might find solace in a good book, a long walk, or a heart-to-heart with a trusted friend. Find what works for you and make it a routine. Lastly, try to maintain a positive outlook. This might sound like a cliche, but hear me out. Positivity isn't about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's about acknowledging the difficulties, but also recognizing your ability to overcome them. It's about finding the silver lining, no matter how thin it might be. Dealing with a toxic relationship isn't easy. It can be a long, hard journey. But with boundaries, professional help, self-care, and positivity, you can navigate your way through. Remember, you're not alone. There are people and resources ready to help. Remember, you have the power to change your situation. So, we've covered a lot today. We've defined what a toxic relationship looks like, learned the signs to watch out for, understood the impact on our well-being, and discussed effective strategies for handling such situations. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the dynamics of toxic relationships, you empower yourself to make informed decisions that prioritize your emotional health. It's crucial to remember that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and love. If you find yourself in a relationship that feels more like a battleground than a safe haven, it's time to rethink. Toxicity is not a sign of love and should never be normalized. But don't worry, you're not alone. There are countless resources available to help you navigate through these challenging times. Seek support. Talk to trusted friends, family, or professionals. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content like this. Remember, you deserve a relationship that uplifts and inspires you, not one that drains and demeans you.